The Jehovah's Witnesses, the guys in Brooklyn, claim that they are God's prophet speaking to man today. They're the only right religion. They are God's channel of communication on earth today. And when people make these claims, it's just astounding. But you folks, you believe that. Mm-hmm. And you lived your life then according to that. But when you came across some of the statements that you had in your own home, for example, that in 1925, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob were supposed to come back to earth, and you guys built them a house in San Diego for them to live, which your husband went and slept in.
Right.
I mean, when 1925 came and went, and Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and a whole bunch of others didn't show up as the Jehovah's Witnesses claimed that they would, talk about that first of all. What was said?
Well, in the book Millions Now Living Will Never Die, that was Rutherford's prediction of 1925. But in 1918, when he wrote that book, he said this: therefore, we may confidently expect, not we think it might happen, we can confidently expect that 1925 will mark the return of Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and the faithful prophets of old, particularly those named in Hebrews 11, to a condition of human perfection. Well, even after they didn't return, they were still looking for this, because that would be the indication that the new earth was being set up. So they built the house they called Beth Surim in San Diego, and they deeded it to David. Yeah. Well, David never came back, so Rutherford moved in, and it
Judge
became...
Rutherford, the president, second president.
Yeah, J.F. Rutherford, he moved in and made that his summer home. So it was a prophecy that was never fulfilled. And what's interesting, at the end of 1925, in September 1925, they come back with, it is expected that Satan will try to inject into the minds of the consecrated the thought that 1925 would see the end of the work. They did the same thing in 1975 when it didn't. You took too much out of what we said about 1975 and you ran with it. Well, where did it come from? It came from them. And it was as sure in 1925 as Noah was of the flood. And he got that from God.
Yeah, I mean,
so
I've seen, and I've got some copies of the posters of Millions Now Living Will Never Die. Mm-hmm. Okay, and these were handed out by the thousands here in America, and it was a big deal. But the fact is, if they have said that the end of the world is going to come 8 different times, put it in print, millions of copies of prints. How many Jehovah's Witnesses, after those events transpired and nothing happened, how many went out the back door? How many left?
Thousands. They said after 1975, at least 250,000 people left the organization. They saw a difference after that.